Hey everyone, Lisa Salvatore here to talk to you about the remainder of October and the solar eclipse new moon that takes place on October 25th. Today is October 18th that I am recording this video, and today Venus and Mars are lining up nicely with each other. So if I do get this uploaded today, the 18th, highly unlikely, but just on the offbeat chance that I do get this uploaded, just know that this is the energy that permeates this week ahead. And this week ahead, the 17th to the 23rd, actually has some really nice energy and astrology to it. There's always some intensity mixed in. We're right about to enter Scorpio season. Anyway, be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you appreciate this content, and also subscribe to my newsletter, lisasalvatore.com, because I do send out weekly energy reports and forecasts every single Sunday to your inbox. I do not put those on YouTube, but I do the weekly forecast if you are a newsletter subscriber. So you can subscribe to the newsletter for free, and you can also be kept aware of my events and workshops that I have coming up, and also by subscribing you will be notified every time I upload new content. And as always, thank you for being here. Okay, so we're in eclipse season already. October 25th, we've got the solar eclipse new moon in Scorpio. It's actually a partial solar eclipse, but it's still very potent energy. But before we get to that, let's just talk about something really nice that we have coming up. On October 22nd, we have a beautiful and very auspicious alignment of the Sun and the planet Venus. 5:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to be exact, the Sun and Venus will align at 29 degrees and 26 minutes of Libra. So why is this so significant? Well, because typically when the Sun and Venus meet up at this time of year, it is always in the sign of Scorpio. And so for at least the past 100 years or so, as far back as the research that I've done showed, the Sun and Venus have been aligning in Scorpio. So this alignment in Libra is extra potent and extra special because anything that Venus does, especially in Libra, is extra important because Venus is the ruler of Libra. You know, all zodiac signs have their planetary rulers, and Venus rules Libra. Venus also rules Taurus. So Venus represents what we love. It is love, it's connection, it's beauty, it's pleasure, it's abundance, it's bounty. It's also our finances. It's our self-worth. It's what we find pleasing. Venus is nice. And in Libra, she's exalted, so she's extra nice. She wishes to bestow her Venusian goddess blessings on all of us that much more. It's like a fairy godmother sprinkling some pixie dust. Think of it that way when Venus is in Libra. Now, Venus lining up with the Sun, having its Cazimi moment in Libra, is completely, not to sound cheesy, but it is magical. And even more so, by the way, if you have anything at 28, 29 degrees of Libra. Any planet that fits into that mold in Libra is going to receive the Venusian blessings. But make no mistake, we all can benefit from this. Now, the thing about Libra is also the sign of balance, equality, justice, relationships. So again, this is really nice for our connections. It's a feel-good energy. It's a perfect time to do a ritual, to set some intentions, even just to focus on that which you desire, and then step aside and allow the universe to work its magic. Allow Venus to bestow her blessings. Now, literally speaking, Venus is so big and bright and beautiful in the night sky as we move throughout the month of October. She's now morphing into an evening star. So think about this energy as a rebirth of the heart. Just like Venus rebirths herself from a morning star to an evening star, we too rebirth our hearts. Venus rules over our heart. She's warmth. She's love. She's connectedness. Now, you're already going to be feeling this whenever you watch this video because Venus is already getting ready to line up with the Sun, and we start to feel the energy build up a little bit before and then a little bit thereafter. So we do have some nice Venus moments for the next week or so. And again, the exact time of the Cazimi, the Venus alignment with the Sun, is 5:17 p.m. Eastern Time on October 22nd. So adjust that accordingly for your time zone. Now, the Cazimi moment, Venus and the Sun, that basically means that Venus gets engulfed in the Sun's rays. She gets engulfed by the Sun's rays. So the Cazimi moment, spiritually speaking, means that Venus's lights are illuminated, magnified times 10. So if anything else over this next week, just do yourself a favor and hey, like my mug here says, make time for joy. Seriously, because that's what Venus wants us to do. She wants us to identify what's in our heart, what makes us feel good, what makes us feel connected. Because what is life without connection, right? That's what Venus tries to show us. And in Libra, she is really, really happy. So again, I just want to emphasize this is a nice energy. We want to focus on the nice because as we move throughout October and into November and through the rest of the year, yeah, we're going to still have a lot of nice, but we're going to have a lot of intensity. Okay, October 23rd, we have quite a few things going on within a 24-hour time period. So if you are feeling physically exhausted, It is not uncommon at this time. And again, I'm going to emphasize that the fixed energies, which are Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius, especially if you have anything between 18 and 25 degrees, any planets or points, any planets or angles between 18 and 25 degrees of the fixed energies, Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius, please know that you will definitely be falling into this category of maybe some lethargy, exhaustion, emotional, physical, spiritual, feeling like you're in a pressure cooker. I know I've been talking about this a lot, but the fixed energies are getting hammered with this Saturn-Uranus square off, okay? Which we're still under right now, but it is beginning to separate, but we are still feeling the influence, especially if you're fixed. Now, the reason that I bring this up is because on October 23rd, really early in the morning, around 12:07 a.m. Eastern Time, Saturn is going to station direct. Saturn has been retrograde since June 4th. So when Saturn stations direct, it's like a release happens, okay? Saturn is a social planet. Saturn is also very personal because Saturn is all about boundaries, structures, limitations, and lessons. Saturn is the planet of time, the keeper of time. It's all about karma. And now remember, karma doesn't mean anything good or anything bad necessarily. It just is what it is, like I always say. For every action that we take in this lifetime, there's going to be consequence. And for every inaction in this lifetime, there is consequence. That's what karma shows us. That's what Saturn brings forth to us. So while Saturn's retrograde, we get to go inward and we get to reflect upon how are we prioritizing our time? Are we using our time wisely? Are we working towards something? Is it for the betterment of ourselves, for the betterment of society, for the betterment of the collective? Remember, Saturn is a social planet. It has been in Aquarius since March of 2020. And in Aquarius, Saturn is all about the future. While Saturn is retrograde, we're thinking, what is the bigger picture? What does the future look like? And what is of most importance to me? And while Saturn is retrograde, it's all about expediting our karma. We will get repetitive lessons time and time again through different people, situations, and circumstances because it's karmic. It's important not to get discouraged because Saturn does reward us for hard work and effort. But it's never easy when Saturn's involved. Again, why is this important? Because Saturn stationing direct right at the heels of this Sun-Venus alignment and then the Sun and Venus shifting into Scorpio brings in this element of commitment because Saturn is also about commitment and hard work. So again, going back to relationships, which are a huge theme under this energy, especially as we move into eclipse season, there's a lot about the relationships, the quality of the connectedness in our lives. What is working, what isn't, what karma do we still need to work through so that we can feel at peace within ourselves, within our spirit, and with others. And we can only do that by going deep into the life lessons. That's what Saturn represents. Now, as Saturn stations direct, Saturn's also going to be lining up nicely with Mercury. This could bring in a key piece of information that helps to bring you clarity. Something that has been plaguing you, bothering you for the past couple of months, you may just get the answer. And it may come to you in a very unexpected way. So remain open. Pieces of our destiny are just continuously falling into place right now. And you may not always notice it in the moment, but when you look back that you truly see it. You grasp the lesson at a deeper level. Now again, going back to the Saturn-Uranus square that we have been under since 2021, Uranus has been in Taurus, Saturn in Aquarius, because they move so slowly and because of the retrograde motion. They've been hanging out together for all of 2021 and some of 2022, mainly the 1st through the 12th of October when they were really, really tight at 18 degrees. So Saturn and Uranus both rule over Aquarius, which I always find really interesting because Saturn and Uranus couldn't be more opposite, right? Saturn's all about structures and limitations and restrictions and boundaries and lessons, right? And then Uranus is about busting out, breaking free, breaking through, and liberation, clearing the path to get to what it wants. So collectively and personally speaking, with Saturn square Uranus, there is something about breaking free from the previous structures we have been living under. That's collective, that's also very personal, especially if you're fixed. It's about finding freedom in the structure. And if you think about it, since Saturn's been in Aquarius since March of 2020, we've all been doing that collectively. We've had to get creative. We've had to find ways of sticking to our outlets, doing things totally different, breaking out of the structures, maintaining some sense of freedom within the structures, within the restrictive energy that we've been living under and living through. I'll also remind you that both Aquarius and Uranus rule over online, internet. So again, we've gotten creative over the last couple of years, haven't we? Both collectively and also personally. Okay, but now that Saturn is direct, you should get some sort of release, even on the internal level, just a feeling, an emotion, a piece of information that helps to set you free, or just gives you that aha moment, like, I I got it. I got the lesson within that relationship or with that job or whatever, plug and play whatever scenario for you. Again, for my fixed people, Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius, between 18 and 25 degrees, I fall into that category. We have all been getting a Saturn transit, and it has been a... But there's always something good that comes out of it, right? It forces you to stretch. It forces you to grow. It forces you to move beyond your limitations and to break yourself free from a rut or from something that's been binding you, keeping you stuck. So when you look at it from that level, yes, it's not all gravy, but again, the change is necessary to catapult you forward on your journey. So don't get discouraged. Harness this energy, harness the energy of what has come up for you and utilize your own unique being to move forward and accept your destiny. Okay, then also on the 23rd, the sun enters the sign of Scorpio. Happy birthday to all of my Scorpio souls. It is your season. It is actually my favorite season, even though I'm not a Scorpio. I love Scorpio season. There's just something about the vibe and the energy. Yes, it's intense. Yes, it has a little bit of spook to it, but it's awesome in my opinion. So again, happy birthday to all the Scorpio souls out there. The sun will enter Scorpio around 6:35 a.m. Eastern time, and then Venus follows soon after. Actually, no. Venus enters Scorpio first. Venus enters Scorpio earlier. Venus enters Scorpio 3:52 a.m. Eastern time, and then the sun follows thereafter. And that's right after their Cazimi moment. So the sun and Venus go into the deep waters of intuitive Scorpio. And here we swim, or brood, however you want to look at it. But again, relationships and connectedness are of high focus. And if there's anything that's holding us back from true authenticity and moving forward, it is likely going to come up. It has been coming up because we've also been dealing with Pluto. Pluto stationed direct on October 8th. And again, I've linked below all of the previous videos that I've done that you're definitely going to want to go and check out because it's often even better to go and look at something after the fact so that you can track it back to see the lessons, to see what's come up for you. So I've linked below Pluto Station Direct video. I'm also going to link the early October video, so make sure you check those out. But yeah, so now that Pluto's direct and Pluto is in the last degrees of Capricorn, okay, which is a big, big, big deal, Pluto will be bringing things up to the surface that are very deep inside of us, okay? Things that we would probably prefer to avoid or evade altogether. But Pluto is not going to let us get away with it for much longer because the true purpose of Pluto is to knock us down, to build us back up. It's that deconstruction to reconstruction energy. It's the death and the rebirth, metaphorically speaking, so that we can rise from the ashes even greater than what we were before, a totally different version of ourselves. And what I keep saying is there's this energy right now of like, you know, feeling a little bit almost like you don't know, you know you're not the same as you were before, right? You're not the same person you were before. You're not really quite sure who you are at the moment, but you also know that you're not quite where you want to be. It's like this no man's land or the land between. That's what this energy feels like for everybody. And for some people, obviously, it's going to be more intense than others. The more energetically connected you are, you're going to feel this more. But yes, so Pluto's bringing things up. And the thing about Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio. Okay? Pluto is the modern day ruler of Scorpio. Mars is the traditional ruler of Scorpio. So both Mars and Pluto rule Scorpio, okay? And so they have a strong hand in Scorpio season and also this eclipse that's coming up. Again, it's asking us to dig deep, to go underneath the surface, to bring up that which is lurking there that might be holding us back. Perhaps we have some trauma that's still locked into our body that wreaks havoc on our physical bodies and our emotional bodies, of course. But this is the stuff that Pluto does dredge up. And Scorpio season tends to do that as well. It shows us our blind spots. Scorpio is the sign of the shadow. Without the shadow, we cannot get to the light. So every season has its turn, every season has its purpose. So don't be afraid to go deep under this energy, especially when it comes to the way you're connecting with others in your life and what might be holding you back, what power dynamics are at work under the surface. Because not only is that helping you not to connect to yourself, but if you're not truly connecting to yourself, you can't connect to others, at least not authentically. And furthering this emphasis on relationship retrospection, Juno will station direct the same day, October 23rd. Again, I've linked that video below as well that I did when Juno stationed retrograde a few months back. In our charts, Juno speaks to the marriage partner, the spouse, the qualities and traits of the marriage partner or the spouse. It doesn't mean that's who you end up with. That just means that which is best for your soul. It's also about balance and equality in our relationship. So again, check that video out. I go through it by the signs. But Juno stations direct at the same time as the Sun and Venus's entrance into Scorpio, Saturn's direct station. So yeah, again, a big emphasis on relationships. Now, I also want to mention that Mars is slowing down right now and getting ready to station retrograde on October the 30th, and we are already really knee deep in feeling this energy of Mars's pivot This is also very significant. You could be feeling extra heated, extra angry, extra irritated, or extra motivated, all things that Mars rules over. Again, that video is also linked below. I go into much more detail about this. But remember, that which irritates us is actually revealing something to us. So it's really important to go into what sparks us, what motivates us, what aggravates us, what makes us really happy. Sit with that, especially under the Cazimi energy on the 22nd, 23rd, and set some intentions. Be honest with yourself about what you desire and what it would take to get you there. And then lovingly give it to the universe. Give it to the powers that be. Okay, I'm not gonna put the solar eclipse in this video because I'm energetically feeling like I need to do that separately. So I'm going to do that video separately and I will link it below. Take care, guys. LisaSalvatore.com.